I could hardly breathe as Mom drove me toward Jefferson Memorial Hospital, every bump in the road sending sharp waves of pain through my chest. My name is Sophia, and by 15, I'd mastered the art of hiding hurt. But this time was different. This time, even I couldn't conceal the damage my stepfather, Tom, had caused. Remember what we agreed on? Mom murmured, her knuckles white against the steering wheel. You tripped down the stairs with the laundry basket. That's all. We can't have questions, Sophie. Tom's insurance covers us all. I gave a small nod, careful not to move my ribs. The stairs story had become a family classic, dragged out every few months whenever Tom's temper boiled over. But stairs don't leave boot-shaped bruises, and they don't always find the same spots Tom aimed for when he was teaching me respect. The ER was unusually quiet for a Tuesday night. While Mom filled out forms, I sat completely still, counting my breaths. Shallow inhale. 1, 2. Slow exhale. 1, 2. Don't cry. Don't show pain. Don't tell. Sophia Anderson. A nurse called, glancing up from her clipboard. Come with me, sweetheart. Mom sprang to her feet. I'm coming too. She's just a bit rattled from the fall. The nurse, her badge read Linda, led us into an exam room. She had kind eyes. Her gray hair pulled neatly back. As she took my vitals, I realized she was watching me closely. Really watching. Can you tell me what happened? She asked, pen hovering over the chart. Before I could answer, Mom jumped in. She fell down the stairs with laundry. Just a silly accident. Linda's gaze stayed locked on me. Sophia, I need to check your ribs. Can you lift your shirt? I hesitated, knowing exactly what she'd see. Fresh bruises layered over older ones in every stage of healing. Mom took a step forward, but Linda's firm look froze her in place. As I pulled my shirt up, Linda's quick inhale filled the silence. Bruises mapped my torso, clear boot prints, finger marks on my arms, the outline of a belt buckle pressed into my back. These aren't from stairs, Linda said softly, her fingers probing my side. When I flinched, she gave a small nod. We need x-rays. Is that really necessary? Mom's voice wavered. She's just bruised. Mrs. Anderson, Linda replied. Your daughter is struggling to breathe and has extensive bruising. The x-rays are not optional. Radiology was one floor up. As they positioned me, I caught my reflection in the machine's surface, small, fragile, like a bird that had flown into a window too many times. Hold completely still, the tech instructed from behind the shield. The machine hummed, its mechanical eye seeing through skin and muscle to the truth. I shut my eyes, remembering Tom's laugh when I collapsed earlier. Get up, he'd said. Stop being dramatic. But I couldn't. Not this time. The pain was too much. Even Mom had looked afraid. Back in the room, we waited. Mom kept checking her phone, probably fielding angry messages from Tom. She'd told him we were grocery shopping. Another layer to our house of lies. Dr. Sarah Chin entered, her expression grave as she clipped the x-rays to the light board. Mrs. Anderson, Sophia, we need to talk about these results. Her finger traced 2 distinct white lines. These are your current fractures. Then she pointed to several fainter marks. And these are older, already healed. I count 7 separate breaks, all in different stages of healing, some months, maybe years old. Mom's face drained of color. That's impossible. She's just clumsy. She falls. Dr. Chen's voice cut in, steady yet compassionate. Anderson, these injuries don't align with accidental falls. Their pattern and location point to repeated, deliberate harm. My gaze locked on the x-rays, the grim truth spelled out in stark black and white. No excuse could erase what the images revealed. By law, I have to report this, Dr. Chin continued, already reaching for her phone. I've contacted our hospital social worker, and I'll need to notify the police. No, Mom shot to her feet, panic flashing in her eyes. You don't understand. We can't. Tom will. She faltered. Tom, Dr. Chin repeated sharply, noting it down. Your husband. Watching Mom wrestle between shielding her husband and protecting me, I made my choice. For 3 years I'd hidden their lies, swallowed their stories, guarded their secrets. But now the x-rays had given me what I'd never had before, evidence. Yes, I said, my voice steadier than expected. Tom did this. Every bit of it. The next few hours blurred into a rush of movement. Police officers arrived, speaking quietly with Dr. Chin, while a social worker named Ms. Martinez sat beside me. Mom paced the small room like a trapped animal, casting pleading glances my way, then tapping frantically on her phone to text Tom. Your X-rays tell a story, Ms. Martinez said softly, handing me a detailed report. Each fracture has a timeline. We can match them to specific incidents. Do you want to tell me about them? I studied the dates. March 15th, 3 broken ribs, the day Tom found out I'd joined the drama club without asking. July 8th, fractured collarbone for arriving home 10 minutes late. December 24th, 2 cracked ribs after dropping his favorite coffee mug. He told me no one would believe me. I whispered, tracing the clinical descriptions of my injuries with my fingertips. He said I had no proof. You do now, Ms. Martinez assured me. X-rays don't lie. A disturbance outside drew our attention. Tom's voice carried down the hallway, dripping with manufactured concern. I'm looking for my stepdaughter, Sophia Anderson. My wife called about an accident. Mom rushed to the door, but 2 officers blocked her way. Through the small window, I saw Tom, still in his work uniform, wearing the mask of a concerned parent. Sir, one officer said, we need you to come with us. Tom's expression twitched. What's this about? My daughter had a fall. I'm here to take her home. Dr. Chin stepped forward, holding the X-rays. Mr. Anderson, these show a 3-year pattern of abuse. Can you explain the boot-shaped bruises on your stepdaughter's ribs? The charm evaporated. His face shifted into the one I knew too well. The face that came before the pain. This is absurd, he snapped. She's clumsy. Always has been. Sarah, tell them. Mom stood frozen, eyes flicking from Tom to the X-rays. I saw the moment her denial cracked. 7 healing fractures, she murmured, almost to herself. 7 times you let this happen, Mrs. Anderson, Officer Reynolds said quietly. We found the belt at your house. The buckle matches the marks on your daughter's back exactly. Your husband is under arrest. As they cuffed him and led him away, Tom locked eyes with me through the glass. You'll regret this, he mouthed. But for the first time, his threats rang hollow. He couldn't undo what the X-rays had already laid bare. Dr. Chin oversaw as a nurse carefully wrapped my ribs. You'll need follow-up with our orthopedic specialists, she said gently. And Sophia, we're arranging for you to see Dr. Patel, one of our top trauma specialists. What happens now? I asked Ms. Martinez, glancing at Mom, who had sunk into a chair, her hands covering her face. You'll need somewhere safe to stay while we conduct our investigation, she explained. Do you have relatives you can stay with? I thought of Aunt Kate, Mom's sister, whom Tom had banned us from visiting 2 years earlier. My aunt. She's about 2 hours away. Ms. Martinez gave a quick nod, already dialing. We'll reach out to her. For tonight, you'll remain in our pediatric ward. You need rest, and we'll keep an eye on those ribs. That night, in the stillness of the hospital room, Mom finally spoke. I didn't want to see it, she confessed, her voice raw. Every time you got hurt, I told myself there had to be another explanation. I failed you, Sophie. You were scared too, I said softly, realizing for the first time that she'd been trapped as well, just in her own way. Fear doesn't excuse it, she said firmly. I'm your mother. I should have kept you safe. But I swear, I'll never let you down again. The quiet was broken when breaking news cut into the TV program. My stomach tightened as Tom's face appeared on screen. Local businessman Thomas Anderson was taken into custody today on charges of child abuse, the reporter announced. Medical evidence, including X-ray imaging, points to a long history of abuse. Mom reached for the remote, but I stopped her. No. Let it play. People should see who he truly is. The night nurse came in with my pain meds and a pudding cup. As she checked my vitals, she smiled gently. You know what we call X-rays in medicine? Truth tellers. Bones don't lie, and they don't forget. I looked at my bandaged ribs, thinking about the years they'd kept silent until now. Tom had been right. No one would have believed my word alone. But he'd underestimated how truth can surface in unexpected ways. Every ache in my ribs was a reminder. I was free. The X-ray had shown what no one else would see, and in doing so, it had given me my voice. 6 months later, I sat in a courtroom, my ribs fully healed, but my memories as sharp as ever. The prosecutor had built the case around those X-rays, now blown up on large boards for the jury. Each fracture was its own chapter in a story of survival. Aunt Kate sat beside me, her hand steady on my shoulder. After that night at the hospital, she'd taken Mom and me in, helping us rebuild piece by piece. Her home had become a refuge. A place where I no longer jumped at sudden noises, and where doors stayed unlocked. The evidence before you, the prosecutor told the jury, shows not just one act of violence, but a deliberate, years-long pattern. The X-rays speak for the victim when she could not. Across the room, Tom sat in an expensive suit that couldn't disguise how jail had worn him down. He claimed my injuries were from my own recklessness and attention-seeking. Medical experts dismantled those lies. Dr. Chen testified that my injuries didn't match accidental trauma, and that the boot prints on my ribs matched Tom's work boots exactly. The old, healed breaks told their own damning story. Mom's testimony was harder to watch. She broke down on the stand, admitting how she'd hidden the abuse. I thought I was protecting the family, she wept. But all I did was protect him while he hurt my child. The case drew headlines, not only for the abuse, but for the way it had been uncovered. Reporters called it X-ray justice. Medical schools began using my case to teach doctors how to spot abuse, and child protection agencies updated their guidelines to include full-body imaging when abuse was suspected. When it was my turn to speak, I faced the jury, not Tom. For 3 years I lived in fear, I began. Every day was a countdown to the next injury, the next lie, the next cover-up. But machines don't lie. X-rays don't make excuses. They just show the truth, even when people refuse to see it. The jury deliberated for only 2 hours. Guilty on all counts. When Tom's lawyer asked for leniency because he had no prior record, the judge held up one of my X-rays. He just hadn't been caught, she said, sentencing him to 20 years, with no parole for 15. The proof of years of abuse is literally written in her bones. Outside, reporters swarmed. What would you tell other kids living in abusive homes? One asked. Truth leaves marks, I said. They're not always visible, but they're there. And sometimes it takes a machine to show what people won't. Don't stop trying to tell your truth. Mom now works at a domestic violence shelter, sharing our story to help others escape. She's learned to forgive herself, though guilt still surfaces. Every X-ray was a cry for help, she told me once. I just didn't want to hear it until someone else showed me how to listen. Aunt Kate eventually helped us find our own apartment near hers. Close enough for support, far enough for independence. My room has big windows and no locks. On one wall hangs a framed X-ray of my healed ribs. Why keep it? Mom once asked. Because it's the one that saved us, I said. It's not just a picture of broken bones, it's a picture of breaking free. Now I'm starting my junior year of high school. The nightmares are fading, thanks to therapy and time. I'm part of a teen survivors group where we talk about healing inside and out. Dr. Chen still checks in sometimes. Last week, she invited me to speak to medical students about detecting abuse. Your case changed protocols, she told me. Now we know what signs to look for, what questions to ask, and what lies might hide behind so-called accidents. That final X-ray still hangs on my wall, not as a symbol of pain, but of freedom. Some nights I stare at it, thinking how something as simple as a machine seeing through flesh to bone changed everything. Tom had been right about one thing. My word alone wouldn't have been enough. But he never counted on science to stand with me. My ribs are strong now, ready to carry me forward. Every breath reminds me. I'm free. I'm safe. And my truth is no longer hidden. It's etched forever in the undeniable evidence of my bones.